Hello, Internet. It's time for Wednesday's Serial Comics from November 17th, 2010. Yeah! First up is Power Girl 18, and this issue was just awesome to read. I mean, when it started off, it felt like an old Superman clone-esque sort of deal, like from the old Superman movie, but just handled with Power Girl, so it felt like it had character and depth and something could go wrong, because it's not Superman, so it's not like infallible, so it was far more dynamic to read. And by the end of it, we got a bit that's going to tie this book much more closely with the Generation Lost series that's going on, and just makes everything so much tighter together, which just creates a great tension for both books and just elevated the whole thing for me, which was great. I mean, and for one issue to do all that was just awesome. And the art was handled great. I mean, even where I have the problem with a lot of comic artists recently, the expressions added so much, so even the talking panels were just beautiful to see. Next up is Superior number 2, the Mark Millar Leinil Yu comic, and in this one, Superior finds out he has superpowers. And I just spoiled the issue for you. Honestly, I am dropping this comic. It's thin, it's pointless, it's not fun. I mean, there's gratuity in it for just language that I'm sure would bug some people. It doesn't bug me, but it's just kind of like, oh boy, they're cursing. Hooray. That was it. The art was meh. Next up is Green Lantern 59, and this was, for me, kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. Here we have Green Lantern talking to the Flash pretty much the entire issue, and some other Lantern-esque people come in really quick, and the Flash is trying to talk to Green Lantern, being like, you're hanging out with all these people, Sinestro and Crocus, and causing all this chaos, and are these the people you're hanging out with now? I think you're falling in with a bad crowd, is what it just kind of came down to, which was like... And this whole time they're just kind of talking on a roof, and it's like they're in this weird space where they're just talking and nothing's happening, which I'm not necessarily saying dialogue issues are bad, but this just felt so contrived. There was one saving grace to it, which was in the middle of the book. The Guardians are talking about Hal, and it's brought up that right now he's not under surveillance, whereas the Lanterns are always supposed to be under surveillance through the ring, and he somehow isn't, and that's causing them to take some investigation with it, which to me was kind of interesting, but it's like this 2-page part, which, okay. And then the very end led into something to where the next issue might actually be worth reading, but I think I'm just going to finish up this arc just to round it off because I'm ADD like that or whatever, but it's just... I think I'm pretty much done with this book by now. But for a Green Lantern book done right, oh my gosh, Bedard, Green Lantern Corps, bam, this issue is just awesome. It started out with a fist fight between Raynor and Sinestro. Amazing. And it just developed from there. We see Naratu in her little captive place where you learn about the Weaponer and why they're so against Sinestro, and you get this history that I'm sure people who know the DC Universe in and out, to them it's just recap. The way it was presented was just this great way for, oh my gosh, and the character makes sense. So yeah, they take a couple of pages to just talk, but it leads to something, and then at the end, because Sinestro isn't willing to go save his own daughter, proving again that he's a jackass, which is awesome moment too. You have a little bit of the core that Raynor pulled together to go save one of their own, and it just, the cliffhanger is just like, you know, this battle is about to break out, and it's like you can feel the war drums, and it was just awesome, and I can't wait for the next issue. I mean, it's not the greatest thing ever, but at the very least, I should be having that feeling when I'm putting down a comic that's, you know, serial bit. So that's how Green Lantern should be done. And of course, Raynor's in the better book, because let's face it, he is the more dynamic character. There's one thing I noticed when I was reading this Green Lantern Corps book, though, and that is in the beginning, while Raynor and Sinestro are having their fist fight, they kind of crash in the middle of this Halloween party. And I was like, okay, well, this book come out a little later or whatever, it's around Halloween, I figured, whatever. And then I looked at the cover, this book is slated for January 2011. I thought that was interesting. I was wondering if anyone knew why the publishing date on the book is so far ahead and frankly out of sequence with when the book comes out. Just something odd I noticed and was wondering if anyone knew anything about it. But I hope you liked this video. And any questions or comments or insults. Best insult wins a prize this week. A no prize. So yeah, I will catch you soon with another comic review. Peace!